Hey, today I'd like to talk a little bit about bindings, book bindings. And I have several examples if you're thinking about authoring a book. These are terms you're gonna want to know. You look at any bookcase, and even this one behind me, you see various types of bindings that are used. One of the ones you're most familiar with probably is what's called the case-bound or hardcover binding. We call it case-bound. And it's literally a hardcover book. The spine, this is called a spine, is separated a little bit from the actual bound pages, so that when you open the book up, there's a bit of a fold and it allows the pages to open more. That's a case-bound or hardbound book. The most common book that we use, though, type of binding, is called a perfect binding. Perfect. In that case, the spine is glued right to the pages, the bound pages, and it's a typical softcover book. But again, we call it perfect, by and large. There is a kind of book where you can get the spine not adhered to the pages. That's called a lay-flat binding, but we don't really do much of those. But perfect, yes, we do. Spiral, you're probably also familiar with. That's a typical spiral binding. Just a twirl of plastic all the way up the spine. The problem with that is when you put it on a bookcase, either this way or this way, you have no idea what the book is. So what some of us do, well, all the publishers do it really, is do what's called an apple flap. Now here's a spiral binding. Here is the apple flap. It's actually part of the back cover, and it flips around and folds into the front cover, so that when you put it on the shelf, spine in, it shows outside shows to the person, so you can see what kind of book it is. The last kind, also not done very often, but it certainly can be done, is what's called a comb binding, C-O-M-B, as in you're combing your hair. Not mine necessarily, but hair can be combed. And a comb binding can be very good for books that you really want to lay completely flat while you're doing work at the computer or with paper or whatever, or that you can fold back. It's like a spiral binding. It doesn't obviously fold as tight as a spiral binding does, but it does get the job done. They're pretty strong, but they're not made for durability, obviously. But a comb binding is another type. Those are the main kind of bindings we use for textbooks and resource books. There are many other kinds of bindings, but those are the main ones. That's it. Have a good day.